great start to our morning here at the Vans US Open of Surfing. We've got Frederico, Morais, Brett Simpson, Joshua Moniz, and Kiron, Jabour. It'll be fun to see his transition from big J-Bay style waves to Huntington Beach wedges.
Wow, nice little tail blow spin for Josh Moniz to start this heat out. You like seeing that again when you can get your board up above the waist, up above the shoulders, above the lip. Judges will eat that up. Does he make a connection here? Looks like he's going to get that final move. See how strong it is. Bit of a little float snap again. Kind of gets it up there and then redirects the board. Enough to earn him a 4.83. And then here, Kiron, Jabour getting a quick start. You know, these guys both from Hawaii, both wanting to get themselves not only to the Vans Triple Crown, but these guys want to qualify. I mean, this is what they're after. They're after those big points, get himself onto the championship tour.
Both here and in Hawaii, and then we get a look at Frederico Morais.
Little two-turn combo, little vertical hit. Doesn't look like he's too interested in the inside section, or does he? He's going to get it. It is tough. I mean, you get the tides and the transitions within those tides. You got to make sure that you're going to be able to get the opportunity. And he does, but he falls.
Does, but doesn't. Live action. This is Brett Simpson, two-time winner here at the Vans US Open of Surfing. A couple of quick turns. Well placed in awkward sections, but he makes the most of it. And of course, if anybody's going to make the connection here with ease, it's going to be Brett Simpson, who's been doing it his whole life. He's got a nice little double up here on the inside. Has to opt for the float. The wave looked like it was going to give him something, and then a rib came up, and very unpredictable in that inside section.
Right. You feel like sometimes you want to be hurried here. As we watch the replay of Kiron, Jabour, and there's a distinct difference from, say, a Kiron, Jabour, which feels like he's trying to get those maneuvers done, whereas Brett, you almost see how paced he is, and that's that experience here at Huntington Beach, is that this wave, you feel like you have to work to get to those maneuvers, which this is going to be a better score than Brett's because of how committed that last move was and all that stuff, but there's just a different distinctive flow to it, and you see how he just connects with these two moves. It's a nice constant speed. It's not a fast, slow kind of opportunity for him, and you know, and this wave would have been nice for Brett had this last section worked out for him. But again, he gets that crease that you had talked about, which then the lip is just going the opposite direction. There's no speed carried. Wow. He literally had to force that move, goes down. So he's going to be affected by that score from the fall.
That's right. The Gudauskas clan just showing up, blowing up. Let me tell you, you got things started right away in that heat.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, first heats of the day are always kind of tricky, so I just woke up at 3 this morning and started watching surf movies, so I wasn't going to be asleep in the water.
Well, you definitely weren't asleep. Started out with a bang. Those inside moves. You got a lot of energy. Is it taxing holding the flow all the way through the waves?
Getting to, you know, put the jersey on for the US Open and wiggle my way to the shore, it's fun. I like it. It's taxing for sure. You kick out like winded, like you just surfed at J-Bay, right? But you're in Huntington Beach.
Well, you've been a warrior on the QS, you know, just pounding through. How do you keep the head space positive, you know, pushing on?
Because I'm a positive vibe warrior. Yeah.
Super long, you know, and there's a lot of losing. As we watch Frederico Morais, who's picking up a right off the pier, and that kind of energy carrying through that second maneuver, getting a little release. That's going to bode him well. Judges are being a little bit harsh, I mean, in this heat. I mean, very similar scores for a lot of completed rides even. You see a little rock and roll float where you get that shift in the lip.
Love a rock and roll float.
And then here, Josh Moniz. Again, there's a little more rights today because I think that you're going to see that notch down and swells helping kind of that little zone there. You know what's good about Frederico is that he's refining his surfing. He knows how good that big front hand snap is and how big it scores, but he's also mixing it up.
Well, that's pretty cool to see just the direct translation from how he surfs at J-Bay to this, a live wave here at Huntington Beach. He's posting scores, easily making the transition there. His last wave came through at a 4.7, so he's in second place now.
At the 5.23 from Kiron, Jabour, you know, that was that nice, you know, he had that quick backhand snaps on the outside. As we look at the replay here, Frederico trying to improve on a 3.77. So we're right now going to be dissecting those 4s and 5s, and that's really where we're going to be for this last 19 minutes. But again, finishing there for Frederico. This is probably going to go into his top 2. It does, actually. It goes into a 3.77 as the replay. So it's, you know, so again, you need a little extra juice for sure to push around a little extra weight.
Now Josh Moniz on his backhand, looking like he was winding up for something. I think the judges are leaving some space because they know we're going to see some aerial antics going down today. And if somebody blasts a big 540, gets themselves way upside down, then the judges are going to have that space to throw out some big numbers. And I'm hoping that's what they're anticipating.
Well, as long as the scale is known and you're comparing waves within the heat, it's all good.
Split peak, Kiron Jabour going left. Upside down vertical snap. Now he's looking for the transition from outside to inside. You can see some of these waves telegraphing and reforming right underneath his feet. He's going to make it. Does the work. Gets to the beach. Section didn't offer much, but he finished nicely. So again, 2 turns. Big one out the back.
I'm sure yelling at you, giving you props. And that's what is unique to this event. As you watch the replay there, I like how you said that it was kind of upside down. Again, that's that committed turn where you're going to go get your body loaded up underneath the surfboard and push the fins out the back. Judges will take note of that. And then again, getting the completed ride, going to that inside section and getting that final move. A really good way to get themselves into advancing spot.
Look at Joshua Moniz last wave, still sticking to the right.
Again, comfortable. I believe that he feels good. Going to get that release off the fins on the forehand. Probably watching conditions, saying, you know what, there's some pure ball rights today. I'm going to go look for those. That wave stayed open pretty much the entire ride. So he gets the 2 turns on the outside and the final move. And then Brett Simpson, he has done that exact combo probably 650 times in the last year.
Deja vu. In a good way.
Yeah.
Well, this is a wave that actually just flipped the script for Brett Simpson.
But you got to back it up. And again, QS 10,000, so important. Great wave here from Frederico. Nice size set wave, gets the snap and then floats it. Lip line, glide all the way through that section. Carried a ton of speed through maneuver. Much better for him. A little bigger wave, so it gave him a little bit more power. And again, just staying with it, getting that Huntington hop going on. And he's going to get the connection through to the inside. Heading back at the judges. And again, gets a bottom turn, but can't hang on. More of the heat. Instead, with that fall, it's going to kind of come short.
Whoa. Flying from around that section. Joshua Moniz gets the 360, quickly reverts out. Now he's streaking down the line, fighting for this inside section to connect. He does.
Really smart right here from Josh Moniz. Knowing that he had just gotten a wave, he was out of priority position, moved up the beach. This is away from the pier, but you can escape and sometimes find a wave, and he has done that. As you see, again, going to the air, getting the reverse. Anytime you see that board get inverted, that's going to be much more difficult. There's that commitment. And he gets this inside section too. Look how much energy he's carrying, weaving that board.
The wave is flattened out right there.
There's nothing there, right? And he carries that speed into that final move. He's loving this. This is going to be the best wave of the heat.
That is going to be an epic matchup. Joanne Defay, obviously a past champion here. Tatiana as well. What a matchup we got. First quarter final. Now set comes through. It's like a medium kind of insider wave for Brett Simpson. He opts for the right. Blows the tail. Complete control on that front side. Tail high reverse. Nose staying engaged in the water. Whips it around. Now he's trying to make the connection. He's got the momentum. Here comes the section. Kind of gets a little bit slipped up going up to the floater, but makes it nonetheless. Simpson.
Keep the mojo and the flow going. Beautiful up there, but this part, right, where you get stuck in the whitewash, you want to see that kind of flow out of there where it's into blue water right away, whereas there he kind of had to make it happen, which is good. I'm glad he did, and it's going to be close because of it.
Kiron goes up. Frederico Morais trying to answer back to Brett Simpson's last wave. Hard turn off the bottom, straight up into the lip. That wave never stood a chance. Frederico with one of the fastest bottom turn, top turn combos we've seen thus far this morning. And now he's easily going to make the connection here, building up some speed. Big section to work with, blast the tail out. Frederico feeling it.
There's the score though. Barely there for Brett.
Yeah, 4.97. And of course, that's before the score of Frederico Morais comes through.
Well, now he needs the 5.24. Is this a 5.24 for Frederico? You know, and a nice, big, strong move on the outside. This is just like so close. It really is. I mean, you look at how suppressed the scale is, and that's where they're going to have these micrometer of points that are going to decide this heat.
Yeah, personally, I think the turn on the outside that warranted a 5 at least. Needs a 6.14. He's got to go on this wave. We're going to see Brett Simpson go left. Brett needing a 5.54, and he goes down. Now it's all on the shoulders of Kiron Jabour from Haleiwa, Hawaii. Couple nice turns out the back. He's going to need a big finish to solidify this score. Pumping, could have a section. Gets the ramp, goes to the air, and comes down. Disengaged from his board, and he knows it. He needed that finishing maneuver.
He did absolutely needed it. He knew it going into it. That's why he committed to the air, or to get up into that hand, get the grab, goes down. But there's your winner right there. And I think the real turning point of that heat had to have been his move up into the south end.
It was positioning as much as it was surfing.